It has been a wild 24 hours of news. We will talk about the Tucker Carlson firing, the Don Lemon firing. We will look at new interviews from Ron DeSantis and Donald Trump showing what a very ugly 2024 Republican primary might look like. But the big news, Joe Biden announcing that he is indeed running for re-election in 2024. If he were to win, he would best his own record of the oldest age to start a presidential term. Remember that Joe Biden, already the oldest president ever to start a presidential term, at 78 when he was inaugurated in January of 2021. Second would, of course, be Ronald Reagan at age 73. Joe Biden would be 82, I believe, if my math is right, and my recollection and my facts, at the start of a second term. But can he get there? Well, that is, of course, a different question. The New York Times headline today, Biden announces re-election bid, defying Trump and history. While the president once pitched himself as a bridge to a new generation of Democratic leaders, he has decided that he is not ready to turn the torch over yet. There may be an event sometime later this week with another announcement, but for now, this is the announcement. And there is all sorts of speculation that, honestly, I will mention, but I don't think is that useful to just really dwell on. Everything from Biden doesn't really plan to stay all the way to the election. This is a placeholder because it would hurt him to say now that he's not running for re-election, but he has to say something because Trump's running and DeSantis might soon be getting in, and he can't just do nothing. But he's going to be a placeholder for the eventual nominee when Biden bows out. Well, we have no evidence that that's the plan. Of course, you can always assert that someone is lying and they have some real plan behind the scenes, but we don't have evidence of that right now. Much of this is driven, I think, by two things: Joe Biden's age, and again, the fact that he once did pitch himself as a bridge, as a transitional president who might only serve for one term. If any of those scenarios happen, we are going to have time to discuss and to analyze, but it doesn't seem very worthwhile to invest time in that right now. Now, what I think is more interesting to look at is, where are the polls today, and do Democrats want Biden to run? Let's start with polling. There is a plethora of polling, hypothetical polling, which says if it's Biden versus DeSantis or if it's Biden versus Trump, what are people saying right now? A new poll released today from Ipsos Reuters has Biden ahead of DeSantis by 9 and Biden ahead of Trump by 5. This poll is out of step with other polling in two ways. Number one, in most polling, Biden does better against Trump than DeSantis. In this poll, Biden does better against DeSantis. It's also different in that the numbers are, if you look at most of these other polls, we're talking about tied all the way up to like +4. +5 and +9 is not something that we are seeing. We similarly have another poll released 2 days ago from Morning Consult, which has Biden +4 over DeSantis and +1 over Trump. And then a number of other polls in which Biden does better against Trump than DeSantis. But the early numbers, and they are worth a little bit, but not that much right now, are that Joe Biden, for the most part, is polling ahead of the two most likely Republican challengers in 2024. This gets us to the third component of this discussion, which is, are voters happy with the most likely choices, which are Biden and Trump? And the answer is no, not really. And we talked about this yesterday on the bonus show a little bit.
Oh, the bonus show where you want to make money.
Sure.
Everybody else that makes money to fund themselves is bad.
Yeah, we made money yesterday on the bonus show talking about this. Majorities don't want Biden and Trump to run in 2024. A new NBC News poll found that 60% of Americans think Trump should not try to retake the Oval Office, including roughly a third of Republicans. At the same time, 70% of Americans think Biden shouldn't seek a second term, including 51% of Democrats. A majority of Democrats don't believe Biden would seek a second term. Now, what we spoke about yesterday with producer Pat on the bonus show is, just because you would rather a different choice doesn't mean if you're a Democrat, you're going to vote for Trump, or if you're a Republican, you're going to vote for Biden. It doesn't mean that. And I do think that all of the data points us to, if these are the choices, even if you'd rather someone else, if you're not a Trump person, you're not going to vote for Trump just because you'd rather someone other than Biden, and vice versa. Now, I want to go one step further. You all know I've not been a Biden cheerleader. I don't find Biden electrifying or exciting or any of it, but I try to evaluate presidencies as objectively as possible. And I'm going to have a deeper dive on this for you soon. When I look on paper, as the kids say, it's hard to argue that the Biden presidency is anything but one of the most successful presidential terms in a very long time. I know Biden is not as left as I would like. And Biden was not the guy I supported in the primary and all these different things. But when you actually look at accomplishments, particularly in the context in which Joe Biden is serving this first of potentially 2 terms, it is really difficult to say that this is not a very successful presidential term. It's crazy to think about. I will lay it out for you as a non-Biden cheerleader, just looking to be as objective as possible. Maybe we'll do that tomorrow or Thursday. Maybe we'll give it a little more time and look at that next week. But Joe Biden running for re-election, we are going to be watching this election very closely. We really are. We have this coupon code 24 starts now on our website. We really are in the midst of the 2024 election. It feels like we're still seeing Trump at 2 a.m. the day after the 2020 election, saying, I guess I won. Feels like it was just yesterday, but we really are ramping up here in the 2024 election, and we're going to be covering all of it for you. We've talked on the show about how internet service providers have been logging everything their customers do online and selling that data. Tech companies use trackers in websites and apps to collect your data. You can shield yourself from all of it by using a VPN every time you connect to the internet. The VPN I use is Private Internet Access. It's the only VPN that has proven multiple times in court they do not log your activity. Our sponsor, Private Internet Access, hides my IP address, prevents big tech from being able to paint a picture of who I am and what I do online, and it works for all of your favorite streaming platforms like Netflix and Hulu to access shows and movies normally only available in other countries. It's one of the only VPNs that works for peer-to-peer file sharing. And the best part is you can protect unlimited devices with just one account. Going online without private internet access is like leaving your phone unattended in a crowded room. Anyone can just take a glance. My audience gets 83% off. That's just $203 a month, plus 4 extra months for free. Go to piavpn.com/Pacman. The link is down below.